Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new here, hello, my name is Lisa. Me and my family are hopefully planning on a move to the US, Florida, and hopefully in the near future. I have done a few videos so far. I'll link those below, but this one is another update of where we're at in the kind of like process, and also answering some of your questions. So I did put a post out a while ago if anyone had any questions, and I have had some like along the way, and I thought I would address those questions. So I thought we could get into that today, bit of an update. Let you know where we're at and how things are going. So one of the questions I've had and comments, I might have to put my sunglasses on, you know, it's so blimmin' bright. Is that rude having sunglasses on? Is it? I don't know. I need to save my eyes. Right, so along the way, I've had the odd question and comment on like videos about the cats. So if you don't already know, we've got 4 cats. One of those cats we rescued from Cyprus. Don't know, maybe about, gosh, that's really bad, isn't it? 2 years ago. We rescued her. We went on a holiday, and yeah, my daughter fell in love with a cat, and we flew her over from Cyprus to the UK. We also have 3 other cats. Okay, so there's lots of worry. I feel it's worry, and people asking about the cats. There is absolutely no way that we would be doing this move without our cats. We do have worries and concerns about obviously them traveling and things like that, and the stress that it potentially could cause. But I would hope that they would feel, I mean, this is a cat, but this is how deep I feel. I would hope that they feel that when they're reunited with us, you know, the stress was worth it. It's just not an option. There's no way we could leave our cats behind. We absolutely adore our cats. And yeah, Isla, my youngest daughter, is just obsessed with our cats, especially one particular cat, which is kind of like her favourite. So it's just not an option, you know. And I don't know, they're part of our family. We just couldn't leave them behind. I do need to kind of get a bit of a move on with that. I have reached out to a few companies months ago about cost and things like that, and I think the kind of cost that was coming back before was maybe around 4,000 for all of them, which I kind of don't really think is that bad, to be honest with you. Gracie, who we flew over from Cyprus, I think that flight was over £500. And there was additional costs on top of that, like the flight crate and things like that. So I honestly don't think that that's that bad, considering they're flying all the way to the US. But yeah, they are definitely coming with us. We adore our cats. They are part of our family, and I couldn't rehome them, and I couldn't not be with them, you know. I adore my cats. So yeah, that's kind of addressing, you know, the few questions I've had. I guess people worrying because, you know, they are our part of our family, and I can understand that people would worry about what's happening with them. But yeah, 1000% they are coming with us. I just need to now get a crack on and reach out some companies again and get some firm quotes. Hopefully we now have more of, I say we've got more of an idea on when we'll be going. Who knows? Okay, so I've had a few questions around the whole visa process and where we're at with that. So an E2 visa, if you don't already know, is where you are investing into a US business. And we have now found a business that we are going to be investing into. It's actually a British couple. So Carl, who is from E2 Visa, the company we're using to obtain our visa, which I will go into in a minute, he is just lovely, and I cannot say like how helpful he is. So he has found us this business. It's a lovely British family, a couple that have, again, a bit like us, they bought this business to obtain their E2 visa. And like how we would like this to happen, they've expanded their business. So not only do they have a cleaning business, they also have a property management company attached to that. And with the property management and the cleaning, it's just grown too much for them to be able to cope with. So I don't know if they approached Carl approached them. I really don't know, but obviously it doesn't matter to us. But anyway, he sourced this British couple who are going to sell off a portion of their cleaning business. So I think it'll be about half of the cleaning business that they own, and obviously they're going to carry on with the other half. They're also going to carry on with the property management. So we have had we have had a meeting with them. Sorry, sip of iced coffee. We have had a meeting with them over WhatsApp, and instantly just like them so much, like really down to earth. Such a lovely couple, and just straight away it just felt right for us. We've had like a breakdown of what the profit generated from that business. We know how many cleaners essentially we are buying. We know kind of like all the ins and outs. And yeah, during that WhatsApp meeting, I kind of just asked them about lots of different things, not just to do the business, just you know, how they found moving to the US. They have got 2 children who are similar ages to Isla, and then I think the one is slightly older. And we just asked how, you know, they'd settled in, they've been there, they've just renewed their E2 visa, so they've been there 5, nearly 6 years now. They said that their children have just, you know, absolutely flourished since moving to the US, and what a positive experience it's been. They touched on a little bit, but obviously not too much, but they touched on the fact that if your child goes to you know, like college, university, you can get sponsorship, which will enable Isla to remain in the country. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but when your child reaches 21, the expectation is that they need their own visa. So if they don't have that in place, they would need to return to the UK. So obviously, you know, Isla will be 17 in October this year. And we all know how time flies. And that has been, you know, not a massive concern to me, because I am a great believer that everything will work its way out. But it has been something that's weighed on my mind a little bit, because I know how quickly that is going to come around. And before we know it, she's going to be close to 21, and there is absolutely no way that we would ever want to be apart from her, especially, you know, the way she is. I think she and my son really need us. So it was really good to hear that there are like sponsorship when she goes to university, or college, whatever. Our plan is that when we get to the US, we would like Isla to go into the Florida homeschooling. In America, it is, well, I don't know about the whole America, but in Florida, it's your right to choose. You either put your child into state school or they can do online learning. That is our plan, and I would like Isla to do 2 years, the last 2 years of high school, because I think it'd be really beneficial for her, and also kind of understanding the American sort of learning aspect. And I'm presuming things that I've heard, it's, you know, not very different, but quite different from here. So I'd like her to do the last 2 years, and then hopefully that will move on to college or something like that, who knows. But yeah, that's, having that phone call or WhatsApp was really beneficial to find out that there is sponsorship for things like that. So I feel that's huge positivity there. Again, moving forward, starting fresh and with a positive light to her education. So let's talk about the visa process. So we are using a company called E2 Visa Express. Now, I've had some concerns about that, about why we're not using an immigration lawyer. Now, I get people's concerns. If we were to use an immigration lawyer, we would probably be looking at least £30,000. £30,000 is a lot of money, okay? A lot of money. And I personally, the way I feel at the moment, I don't feel that it's necessarily the best route. I might be proven wrong. I just don't feel it's necessarily the best route. So I've mentioned this before on my channel. The guy we're using and the company we're using all happened by chance. I'll recap again if you haven't watched any videos up until this point or you've forgotten. Basically, we had a holiday in America a few years ago, and I met my friend. My husband went to the gym, came back, well, my husband came back, and there was a guy stood in our villa. Anyway, long story short, he was a maintenance guy. He's Welsh. He had come to the wrong property by accident. He was property managing or maintaining that villa, but he accidentally got the wrong one. Anyway, my husband ended up having a long chat with him, casually mentioned that I would love to move here. He sort of said, oh, well, if ever you do, I've got, you know, connections and an amazing guy. And he gave us his number. We didn't use that number for quite a while. Then we had a meeting. We're dealing with a guy called Carl, and yeah, he is from the E2 Visa Express. They've got a full website. They're on Trustpilot with their reviews. I will put up on screen some reviews now. I have just had a look. There is one negative review, but to be honest with you, I don't actually think it was a genuine negative review, because he gave a response and it looks like the lady just kind of gave up and didn't pursue it. And yeah, I always think there's two sides to a story. It's not necessarily just how you see things. He's been absolutely amazing, so informative. I have asked a billion questions. I've never, you know, been made to feel that I'm getting on his nerves or I'm asking too much. He's always been really transparent and, you know, always answers my questions. So, if you are aware, the E2 visa is obviously investment based. Now, everyone does things their own way. We are personally, due to having no other reason, no other way of doing it, to be honest with you, we are having to sell our house to raise those funds in order to invest the money. That's just the way it is. We've accepted that a long time ago. I know I've mentioned this before, my previous video, but there might be somebody watching this that has no clue. So our house is sold. We're still in our home. We we think we have sent off the last piece of information that our buyer's solicitor needed. So if you aren't aware, in the UK, if you live on a new development, I can't remember what year it came in from, but we've been in our house now, 4 or 5 years. That's really bad. I can't actually remember. But yeah, there's like a property maintenance charge additional to council tax. I personally don't agree with it. I think it's just taking workloads off council tax, but yet my council tax isn't lower or any lower than anyone else's who has all of their communal areas maintained. Anyway, we are through a company called, I think it's BNS Property Maintenance or something like BNS. So they basically the buyer's solicitor wanted information on all of that, and presuming breakdown of costs, what we get from any, all that kind of thing. That has now gone to our buyer's solicitor, which we're under the impression that's the last piece of information to go to them. We are hoping to complete the end of June. We have given a date for the international removers to come and box up. We've also booked our open rent property from a certain date, the end of June as well. We're just really hoping now that everything kind of gets a move on. We need to exchange those contracts and get this completed. My husband is actually dreading moving to Worcester. That's where we're moving to. I'm not actually. I'm kind of feeling excited about it. I'm not particularly fond of the fact that we're going to be away from family and friends. That does bother me. But I'm trying not to think about that part. I'm just trying to think of it's really weird. So, you know, if you've ever stayed in an Airbnb or a hotel or apartments, I don't know, there's the excitement of it not being yours, but there's also that bit of that everything in that property doesn't belong to me, you know? All of my stuff is going to be boxed up. It's going to be in a shipping container, being kept in storage for 3 to 4 months. And I just feel like I haven't got to worry about any of that side. I just feel we can go into this property with suitcases, hang up our clothing and put our food in the cupboards, and we just live. And I'm actually really excited by that. Which might sound a bit strange, I don't know, but I'm actually quite excited about that. So yeah, I'm really hoping that everything goes to plan. You hear so many horror stories of even the day you're meant to complete in the UK, you know, somebody can pull out of the chain and the sale doesn't go through. It would be horrific, because you're looking at least another 3 to 4 months, which would set us back massively. I don't see that there's any reason that anyone in the chain should pull out. You just never ever know, do you? So I think that's another reason why I can't wait to just move, because I feel like when we move to Worcester, I'm going to be able to take this massive deep breath in, sigh of relief. And although we've still got the visa thing to go through, I just feel that I'll be able to relax a lot more. So at the moment, we are doing everything we can in preparation so that when our funds are released, boom, get it all in, that E2 visa can go in really quickly. So we're kind of doing all the background stuff. We found our business. We have made up a name for our business, which I'm not disclosing at the moment. But yeah, we've come up with a name for our business. We have also, so we've got a name for our business, but then through Carl, we've been advised to not have that name as the main name. We're having another name as like an incorporation, because in order to get our EIN number, which is Employment Identification Number, we've been told that if we go under the name that we have chosen, it's going to be a lot more tricky because there are other businesses in the whole of Florida under that name. Where the areas we'll be covering it won't actually have that name. So we're not actually bothered about the fact that the name we've chosen will be floating around Florida. Florida is a massive country. I don't feel it will affect our business. The area we're covering, nobody is using the name that we've chosen. So we're going for another name, which is something Incorporation, which is what we've been advised to go for to obtain the EIN number. So that is being done at the moment behind the scenes. So I'm guessing that as much paperwork as possible is being done behind the scenes, because we've said to Carl that as soon as this money is released, we want this process to be quick as possible, because bear in mind, we're paying way more for our open rent property than what we currently do for a mortgage and bills. So every month we are going to be down by over £700 a month, which is a lot of money for us. And yeah, we don't want any kind of issues. Oh, and we've also asked for storage for like 3 to 4 months. I don't know where we would stand if that then ended up being more than that, because at the moment we've got 3 to 4 months of free storage, which has been agreed in our price. We have obviously our movers, and I think the agreed price it's either £7,500 or it's £7,000. Now, we originally wanted a full container, a full 20-foot container. There's lots of reasons behind that sometimes shared containers can cause problems, because essentially if one half a container is ready to go and the other half isn't, there's going to be a delay in your stuff getting to Florida. The guy that we're using, the company we're using, has promised and guaranteed, and it's in, like the fine details of kind of the contract that he sent me, we're actually going to be having a shared container, but he is going to ensure, which he said he's got other movers around that time, so he thinks it'd be absolutely fine. He is going to ensure that our stuff will be with us. I think he said between 5 and 7 weeks. So he is making sure that our half container, along with the other half container of somebody else, will be leaving at the same time, so there shouldn't be any delays. He's reassured me and guaranteed, so we will watch this space. I have also told him that I am a YouTuber and I'll be documenting this, so I hope that that's kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of pressure to know that, I will be giving an honest review and documenting our experience. So what he said should stick, because if it doesn't, then this is something that obviously I will be discussing on my YouTube channel. So yeah, that's all booked. The plan is at the moment is that we've given a date to move out, a date we'd like to complete, which is on a Friday, and we will have the removal company come in on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. I think I'm going to change that to the Wednesday, Thursday, so that on that kind of, I don't know, in between when they're emptying rooms and then half the time on a Friday, I don't know how to do it, or just leave it empty and have it be done with. I don't know. But at the moment they're coming on a Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the idea was that on the Thursday we deep clean the house, so it's just empty on the Friday. So we might still do that actually. And also it cuts down the worry of, I don't know, if one of the cats runs off and we can't find them, we've got that time to essentially wait for them to come back. So yeah, that's all sorted. So going back to the whole visa and people saying to me that we should be using immigration lawyer, I'm not willing to spend £30,000 of money that potentially could be wasted. I believe that, you know, if our fate is to move to Florida, then that is our fate. I really hope that that is the case and that there aren't any problems and the whole visa process goes through, you know, absolutely fine. The fact that we found this guy again by fate speaks volumes to me. The fact that there's so many good reviews. I don't have any qualms about using E2 Visa Express. Carla's been absolutely amazing. Like I said, everything's being put in place so that as soon as that money is in our bank, we can speedily get this whole process going. And yeah, at the moment, he's saying that visas are taking around 3 months. Now, I did watch some other YouTubers that said that there were like a backlog at the embassy. Now they are going on a completely different visa to us, so I don't know if that is the case. I do need to send Carl a message and just ask if there's any kind of delays on like E2 visas at the moment, because that is what he specializes in, E2 visas. And there's another visa to get you to Spain. I can't remember which one it is, but I need to check with him actually to see if there are any delays at the embassy. But so far I feel really confident. Everything, you know, I feel is going well. The stuff in the background, the paperwork bit, is hopefully all being done so that we are just ready to bang it out and he can submit that application to the embassy. He also guides you through the whole interview process. Yeah, he's just amazing. But yeah, we feel so far like happy. Our visa is costing us £2,999. Now, Carl charges a set fee. So if there's one person going, it's the same fee. If there are a family of 10 going, it's the same fee. A set fee of $2,999, which, you know, I feel happy that if all goes wrong, we've only lost £3,000. If we were to lose £30,000, oh my gosh, like, no, that's so much money to us. But yeah, I don't know. I might be eating my words. I might have regrets, but by what I've seen reviews on his website, it makes me feel confident that we don't need an immigration lawyer. And I don't know, if we look at even say the house buying process, UK to US, our systems are very, very old fashioned. You know, we use solicitors to move house, buy a house. And the delays that solicitors cause is madness, absolute madness. You know, the average in the UK at the moment is 4 months, they're saying it takes to buy a house. If we buy a new house in the US, we've been told a new house that is built, ready to go, will be in that house within 2 weeks. I just feel that sometimes solicitors, lawyers, whatever you want to call them, I just think that I don't know, I just feel it's very overcomplicated in this country. And, you know, maybe, I don't know, I was going to say maybe somewhere along the line our processes are more complicated for a better reason, but I can't really see why. You know, if you can buy a house in 2 weeks as opposed to buying a house in 4 months, I know which one I would choose. And I really don't like the fact that still in England, it's different in Scotland, but I still don't like in England the fact that even up until completion, your buyers can pull out. I don't like it. It's just, I don't know. It's never ever sat well with me. And I really think that there should be laws as opposed doing it. I really feel that there should be laws to stop people from being able to pull out, you know? I think if you've chosen a house, you've committed to that house, you're saying you're going to buy it, it should be a legal document from the start stating that you are buying that house. I just don't, it just doesn't sit well with me, and it just causes so much unnecessary stress and anxiety that somebody can pull out, you know, at such short notice and just leave you stuffed, going back to being another 4-month process. Anyway, we're keeping everything crossed that doesn't happen. I have got wood in this car, so I'm touching that wood. But yeah, everything so far I feel is going okay. I feel still really happy and content in my decision. The only thing that kind of weighs on my mind at the moment is obviously being away from my eldest daughter, my granddaughter, and what will be my grandbaby, because she's due near the end of August. That is just it's gonna rip me to pieces. And I try not to think about it too much, because I just think, why am I gonna have months and months at the moment of being down, upset? I just don't see, I don't see the point. That sounds really bad. I just don't feel that I need to drag myself through that for any longer than I necessarily need to. I know it's going to come. I know the upset is going to come. I know at some point, I don't know when that'll be, before we move or after we've moved, maybe a few months down the line. I really don't know, but I do know at some point it's going to hit me that we're living there, and I can't just see Meg's, Esme, baby and her partner anytime I want to. I'm gonna have to deal with that as and when it comes. Okay, so family in regards to us going. I had a question about how does my mum feel about us going. Honestly, I don't really know. She hasn't really said, so I don't actually know. My husband's parents, bit of a strange one. So they were really positive at the start, and said that if they had their time again, that they'd be gone from this country, that they wouldn't think twice about it. But then, as soon as our house sold, the realization kicked in, and yeah, apparently my husband's mum was upset a lot. They haven't told us any of this. We found this out through my sister-in-law. But I think now they understand that, as long as we get a visa, we are going. You don't just sell your house and for no reason, do you? It's pretty major if you're selling your house and moving into a long-term rented accommodation. You don't just do that for no reason. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law, I'm going to miss loads, actually. They are the people that, we see quite a lot. We'll go around normally on a Sunday morning. We always get on really well. We'll have a laugh, good cups of tea, occasionally some biscuits. And yeah, I've always got on really, really well with my sister-in-law. And oh my God, I didn't actually expect to get upset. What the hell? yeah, I've always seen her as the sister that I've never ever had. I've always seen my relationship with her as really close. I don't know if she feels the same, but oh my God, what is going on? I think it's because you're probably now, I'm feeling paranoid now, because you're probably thinking, oh my God, you've not got upset when you've spoken about your daughter. But I have done loads in the past, and I'm not even sure if I have on my channel, but I've never actually really discussed about my sister-in-law and brother-in-law ever. So I've never really kind of ever, I don't know, I suppose brought it to the surface. So maybe that's just where the tears are coming from. But, you know, I am me. I don't try and hide anything. Probably a lot of the time I'm too much of an open book, but I'd prefer to have that and people maybe see it as a bit of a flaw than to not be like it. I am real. I am me. I'm not going to change for anybody else. You know, I'm 48 in a few days. 9th of June, I am going to be 48. And yeah, if I feel or I have tears that come from nowhere, then I cry. If there's something that has upset me or something I feel about a certain way, then I'll just say it. So yeah, it's probably where it's come from, because I've never actually discussed it, but we do see them a fair bit, and I really, really enjoy seeing them, like really enjoy it. Whenever we arrange it, we're going to see them this Sunday. I actually really look forward to it because, like I said, we've always got on really well. We just, I don't know, I suppose put the worlds to rights sometimes. We talk about things openly, and I just really enjoy their company. I really do. So I am really going to miss that. And I do worry about when I move, you know, I need to, around working, I need to make the effort to build, like, I don't know, I'm just going to ignite my aircon again because the car's gone dark. Yeah, I do know that, you know, friendships are going to be very, very important in the US, and with not having family, friends that I make are going to be ultimately my family while I'm living there. My sister-in-law and her husband have, you know, expressed lots of interest about coming out to see us, and I hope they'll see it as being, you know, a cheap holiday. They technically only need flights, they've got somewhere to stay, they'll probably want to hire their own car. It doesn't mean that they've got to do parks every time. So yeah, I do feel really hopeful, and I hope that they will come and see us regularly, because it's not going to be the same as seeing them as often as we do now. But yeah, I do. I think a lot of both of them, and I don't know, I've probably never ever said that before, but then, you know, they probably wouldn't think about saying that to me. But then I guess it's times like this when you do something massive in your life that it makes you think about those things that you probably just wouldn't ever say to somebody, or you take for granted. I originally didn't want to kind of have a goodbye get together party, whatever you want to call it, but I actually now feel that I do. So yeah, that's something that I think I would like to do now. The only problem is that my in-laws don't particularly like driving. I don't know how they would get to Worcester, but we can find out those ins and outs. But yeah, I now actually think that I would like to. I think if we do it, it would be in a very emotional day, maybe the realization would start to kick in a little bit then. I don't know, may not do it. And I'm also thinking of doing like proper British, you know, the things that you would take for granted in this country, like having, you know, good old-fashioned English afternoon tea with sandwiches, crisps, Battenbergs, scones with clotted cream and jam. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking that I would love like a send-off like that. Just feeling very British. So yeah, I think I just dropped my tissue. I'm kind of thinking now that I would like to do that, to be honest with you, but who knows. So yeah, now it's a waiting game. I am obviously going to keep you updated. We are obviously technically very, very close to the house sale and actually properly starting the E2 visa process, although obviously there's stuff, paperwork being done in the background. I haven't got a clue what. We've just told him that we want things starting in the background ASAP, so that when we are ready, boom, we can literally get that thing submitted and there's no delays. So I don't really know how much is being done in the background. Obviously know the EIN number is going to be generated, all that sort of stuff. We have also ages ago sent documents to him, which was passports, I can't remember, I think proof of address, things like that. We have done that sort of side. But yeah, it's kind of like a waiting game now, but obviously I want to keep you updated, and I also want to do this for myself, because my future self will be looking back at these videos, and you know, if there's been emotions along the way or feelings along the way, I want to remember all of those emotions. And you know, this whole process has been very, very overwhelming, and if I can help somebody out there, even just if somebody is doing this and has all of these emotions flying around and questioning, oh my God, like, is this normal to feel this way? Is it normal to feel that way? I want to document that, because I felt so many emotions since we've started this whole process. So many. It's ridiculous. And I don't know, I want to maybe be somebody else's comfort into feeling that it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel like you're pooping your pants. And although I haven't actually researched on YouTube, I haven't ever come across anybody that's doing it the way we're doing it. I kind of personally don't regret doing it the way we've done it, because if we had our visa in place and it took us then another year to sell our house, I'd have huge amounts of disappointment. Whereas we're selling our house, we know once we move, that whole E2 visa process can properly start, get submitted, and you kind of know that process isn't going to be a majorly long one. Even if there is delays, kind of feel like it wouldn't. It's kind of that thing, isn't it? The way I see it or feel it in my head is, if I was selling my house after I got my visa, if someone said to you, how long will it take to sell your house? A good old British saying is, how long is a piece of string? There is no way of knowing how long it takes for somebody out there to find your house, love it, and want to buy it. So that is kind of, I feel like, the hard bit that we've done. I'm saying this, but it could all fall through. I mean, technically it shouldn't, but I'm hoping it doesn't. But I kind of feel that that's a huge bit with the how long is your piece of string thing gone. I don't really feel with the E2 thing there is that how long is a piece of string, because there are rough times estimates that it will take. The only thing is worst case scenario is you don't get your E2 visa. But we always knew that that was the case. And then you just make a decision about your future from then. I don't even know if there is an appeal process, presuming there is. I really don't know. But yeah, I feel like the selling of the house, moving out and moving into an open rent, I feel like that's a huge hurdle gone. One that you don't necessarily would have known how long it would have taken. So a huge part of me actually feels glad the way we've done it. And there'll be loads of people out there thinking you're absolutely mad. I've had so many comments of, I think you're brave, or no, like negative. When I say this, like almost like you're crazy. It's not in a negative way at all. Just, I think people maybe have a lot of admiration and look at us and see that we're being extremely brave in our lives. But I've said this before, that saying that somebody said to me, I can't remember who said it, but you don't get to sip champagne without taking risks. We're here once. You're probably sick to death of me saying this, but it's drummed into me so much. It's really hard to say. Okay, so my dad obviously passed away. If you're new here, my dad passed away a fair few years ago. And this might sound really messed up, and there might be people that just don't understand this. But I truly believe that any negative thing that happens in your life, any negative thing, I feel somewhere along the line, whether that surfaces straight away, 10, 20 years down the line, I really, truly believe that you can take something positive from something negative that happens in your life. And losing my dad was, oh my gosh, the worst thing. I remember when we were told that there was nothing else that could be done for my dad. I remember sitting I was in my bedroom, and I think I got a text saying that nothing, or I'd had a phone call, I can't remember, that nothing else could be done. And I remember sitting on the floor, and I don't know if I was doing my hair, my makeup, but I was sat in front of a mirror on the floor at the end of my bed. And I remember telling Jonah, and I remember absolutely breaking my heart, bawling my eyes out, saying, how can I, like, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to carry on living with him not here? It obviously was very, very extreme emotions, because essentially that day I got told that I would be losing my dad, and my brain just went into overdrive of, oh my god, how am I going to actually cope with this? And I still remember to this day feeling like that. And I feel like I've done in my head everything that I possibly could to deal with it, not move on from it, don't take that the wrong way, but as in to be able to live with it, take some form of positivity from it. And I just feel I've done, I don't know, I just feel I've done it so, like, I don't know, like, okay, I'm going to put it out there. I actually feel proud of myself. I'm going to say that, because not many people in life will say something massively positive about themselves, but I feel bloody proud of myself. I've said it. I feel proud of myself that rather than when my dad passed away, thinking that I was going to go down this deep, dark hole that I have been down many of time in my life, the darkest hole that you never, ever think you'll come out of, I feel I dealt with it in the best way that I possibly could for me. I went and saw somebody. I talked through all of my feelings, emotions, everything. And the proudest I am of myself is the fact that I have taken something positive from losing my dad. And that is the massive kick up the ass that we are here for essentially a short period of time. And look down my dad's side, his mum died very young. My dad was only in his teens. His dad died pretty young. And essentially my dad died, I think these days, pretty young as well. And I do think that things like that are hereditary. I do lead my life very differently to how my dad did. I'm essentially a non-drinker. I will have, the odd drink here and there. It doesn't float my boat. Yeah, I did in my teens, early 20s, but I don't drink. I've never ever smoked. There was a time when I was young, well, not young, but this is so embarrassing. I can't actually believe I'm going to say this, but my friend smoked and stupidly I thought it was cool. So I used to buy cigarettes and I never ever used to inhale it into my lungs. It's so embarrassing. But because I wanted to look like I was a smoker, I mean, that's so sad. And if there's anyone young watching this, for Christ's sake, don't ever do what I did. But yeah, I have never ever smoked. I might have looked like I smoked at one point on nights out, but I have never ever smoked, never taken a drag of cigarette. And my dad, at points in his life was, I wouldn't say a heavy smoker, but he smoked. My parents always drank, always have drunk, not as in like a problem drinking, but, enjoyed drinking, would go on holidays and drink every holiday. I've just never done that. I have lived my lifestyle very, very differently, but I do also feel that gene-wise, being realistic, I think it's going to hit me or my brother. And, I'm 48 in a couple of days. I might only live till my early 70s. I just want to live my life in a lovely, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to be moaning my backside off when we move to America, because this is the absolute joke, is I don't even do heat. But hear me out. What America does have, and a lot of other foreign countries, is they have aircon. We don't. Like, we get it in shops, but we don't get it at home. And it's going to be my saviour. I'm telling you now, it's going to be my saviour. I don't like high heats. But if we live there, or when we live there, I'm not going to be going to parks in the height of summer. I won't be doing it. We've done that so many times on holidays and suffered the heat. I just won't be doing it. Because if we were to have park tickets, and I'm not even saying straight away we will, I would just be avoiding certain times a year, because I just don't see why I would do it to myself. But yeah, I don't do the heat. I don't particularly like the heat. I like having a tan, but I don't particularly like the process in getting to that tan. So it's quite laughable, actually, that we are moving to Florida. But what I do love and what I thrive off is sunshine. I definitely suffer with seasonal affective disorder 1000%, to the point where I actually physically dread when it gets to autumn and I know what's coming. I physically dread it. Even in our summer here, when we have, like, we wake up, yesterday it rained all day and it was like really dark clouds, it just really affects me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm not stupid. I know that Florida have like shed loads of rain, hurricanes. I know the weather isn't 24/7 perfect, but it's more guaranteed than here, and it really does affect my mood. And it is a really big factor to me, you know, wanting to move. I think a lot of people move to Florida maybe for different reasons, and I'm just guessing that. I might be completely wrong. I'm talking so much, getting such a dry throat. Oh, iced coffee, delish, that I made myself this morning. Don't get me wrong, I love Disney World. I love Universal, and I would actually say maybe more of a Universal girl than a Disney girl. I don't know. But a lot of people would move there just because of the parks. For me, that's not it. There is something about America that grabbed me from a 7-year-old child. And I can't explain what it is. It is not just the parks. When I was 7, we did travel from Texas to Florida and did do the parks. But that we were in Texas for, I think it's about 4 weeks. That was not like my reason. I don't know, there's something about America that just grabs me. I remember, as being a 7-year-old little girl, I remember the street where my auntie lived on was all like, it was Christmas time, and they put out all of these, like, I don't know what it was. It was like, I'm presuming paper that wasn't flammable, but these like square sort of like paper things that you filled, I think you filled with sand, and then you put tea lights in, and then the whole street, additional to all the like house Christmas lights, the whole street was lit on this one particular night. And I remember my auntie taking me to a neighbour's house, and they had like I remember going in, they had like a galleried landing, like stairs and galleried landing in the living room. So from the lounge you could look up and you could see all of the landing, and so essentially you could see floor to ceiling from the living room. And I remember going in, and they had the biggest, hugest real Christmas tree I've ever seen in my life, and it practically went floor to ceiling. And I just remember thinking, wow. And straight away from that moment, I just loved American houses so much that I loved. But yeah, a lot of people, I suppose, move to Florida for the parks. Me, American itself, I don't know what it is, it just gripped me deep within, and I can't even give a solid reason as to why. It's something that I can't explain, which probably doesn't make a lot of sense, and sometimes I guess it doesn't make sense to me. But is a feeling not more important than being able to list something? That's how I see it anyway. It's a feeling deep within. America just has something hold on me, and I can't explain what. But yeah, if we can afford park tickets, it may not be straight away, it may be a little bit down the line, then we will, because, you know, we love our parks. And I'm just looking forward to quality family time. I've said before, and I said earlier, like, my 2 children that live at home have got a lot of, you know, like, issues. I'm not going to go into every single one, but I feel it would be beneficial for them. But I'm going to stop there, because I feel this has gone on now 1 hour and 10 minutes. I'm obviously going to edit a little bit out, but it's pretty much going to be at least an hour. I really hope that you find this content interesting. I personally love a sit down video like this and just chatting to you, because it's like talking to best friends. And that is something also that I would like to point out, is on this channel that I originally started, which I originally started because of my dad. And you might think that's a weird reason to start a YouTube channel, but again, it was something that I'd thought about for a long time before my dad passed away, and I just never did it, mainly because of the editing side, but I never did it. And then obviously when he passed away, I was just like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to live my life to the fullest. And I started this YouTube channel. And I never really had any expectations. I never really thought much about anything, where it would go or how successful it would be. Things like that never go into my head. Still don't, to be honest with you. But I've got regular subscribers that have been with me pretty much from the start, that regularly comment on my channel, leave such lush comments that make me just want to jump into my phone and give you a massive hug, because, you know, when I get the positive comments, it just, I don't know, it has such a positive effect on me. I don't know, you know, you're taking time out of your day to watch me, who some people might find me irritating, some people might adore me or look forward to my videos, I don't know, but you're taking time out of your day to sit down and listen to me chat, or a haul, or whatever it may be. And I really appreciate everybody that does that, and I just cannot say in words how much I appreciate you watching my videos and supporting and just being such lovely people. It's that makes me want to do more videos. I've also had, I'm going to add this on to the end, because I'm going to draw this to an end in a minute, because I feel like I've talked a lot. Again, I really hope that you are enjoying this kind of video. Please let me know in the comments, because I don't know, I feel with YouTube, you produce this content, and if people don't comment and leave comments, which, you know, some people do and others don't, it's like, look at it as feedback. Unless you tell me what you think of my video, I've got no clue. I'm just winging it. So when you come back and you, sorry, I will just say, people might think, well, actually, if you're seeing that it's got loads of views, to you that tells you they really liked it. No, it doesn't at all, because that might just be somebody wanting to get a piece of information out of one of my videos. It might just be somebody wants to see what the latest things are in Primark. It doesn't mean that somebody has enjoyed my video. It's the comments that tells me the kind of videos you're enjoying and the content that I'm putting out there, whether you find it interesting or not. So please just comment and let me know, because it's so beneficial to me. But yes, let's address the massive thing that has caused a few people worry. Along the months, I've received the odd message from people, and I've replied to them, but I'm just going to put it out there so everybody knows. Will you still be carrying on with your YouTube channel? And I, from the way it's been typed, I get the sense that it's worry from people, and I want to put all your worries aside. I'm going nowhere. There is a huge part of me at the moment that feels like I'm letting you lot down, and I'm not doing what I ultimately want to do, and that is produce as much content as possible. I feel like I'm majorly letting you down, because there isn't the time with working and sorting out the house and, you know, all the little bits the phone calls you have to make, the emails you have to send. There just hasn't been the time. And obviously I know that my content isn't anywhere near as much as what it was, and I hope you see that this is a temporary thing. You know, I hope that as soon as I can get back to what I was doing before. But at the moment, you know, when you're watching a YouTuber, you're kind of following along their life, and this is my life at the moment. It's very consumed with everything that's going on in the background, as well as having a job. And you know, it does make me laugh. You get the odd content. I've just done a Primark one. All it was a try-on video, and somebody commented like, wow, God, you're after, I can't even remember what it was, but it was basically insinuating that I wanted loads of money, and it makes me laugh. Honestly, it makes me laugh. And my husband was with me at the time, and I said, it just makes me laugh how people think that you're earning so much money from YouTube. I'm lucky if I earn £100 a month. £100. And for the amount of effort that I put in, for the kind of YouTuber I am at the moment, I'm not some big YouTuber. Like, it's the worst paid job on the planet. Literally the worst paid job. The amount of effort I put in to not only, you know, going to shops, buying the things, filming it, trying everything on, editing it, is a joke of what I earn. But I do it because I enjoy it. And when I get these comments about, oh, you've just done that for like, or clickbait, or you've done it for maximum amount of views. Well, everybody on YouTube is using a little bit of clickbait, are they not? Like, the end of the day, the thumbnail you see is the first impact of somebody seeing what your video is going to be like. You've got to do a bit of clickbait, otherwise somebody's just going to bypass it. But it does make me smile when people think that I'm earning an absolute fortune, because if I'm lucky and I earn £100, then I feel I've accomplished something that month. I would love to be earning more, but that is not the case at the moment. Okay, so future plans. Obviously, I'm going to keep this channel going as it is. I do really like these sit down videos and these chats, so please let me know, because if you do like them, then, you know, this is something that, you know, I would like to do, that I maybe steer away from doing because I worry you'll be bored. Okay, the other thing that I plan to do, and I really want your feedback on this, so let me know in the comments, is I really want to start, when we've moved, I want to start a second YouTube channel, and it will just be dedicated to our business, so the cleaning. And I'd like to do before and afters. You can see me out at work. I know lots of people love cleaning videos. Even my daughter's like, oh mum, the videos I enjoy the most are the ones where you're doing the cleaning. I'm like, really? But to be fair, when I have no inspiration in cleaning my own home, I will stick on a cleaning video, and it really does give me the enthusiasm that I need. So yeah, let me know about that, because that is my plan, is to start another YouTube channel when we've moved, just dedicated to the cleaning side. So let me know if that's something that, you know, you will be interested in, because I would be really interested to know. Anyway, I have been waffling now for 1 hour and 20 minutes. We'll see what this comes down to when I edit. But I do really hope that you have enjoyed this video. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that tunes in, watches my videos, leaves such lovely comments, and is just a nice person. I don't have any time for negativity or nasty comments, and I just report them now. I don't have time for that in my life. My life, I want to fill with as much positivity as possible, and I hope that my videos make you feel good about yourself. And yeah, just a massive thank you. You're all so lush. so lush, and do not ever think that I don't appreciate you tuning in to watch my videos, because I can't even describe in words how much I appreciate it. But yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's answered some of your questions and shed a bit more light on where we're at the moment. I am obviously going to keep you regularly updated. I think the next kind of update is going to be hopefully that we've exchanged, or we get given more of a clear idea when we're going to exchange. Who knows? But yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, take care everyone, and I will see you really soon in my next video. Bye.